Welcome coders. In this video we will learn about how can we deploy a Python container. Basically what we are going to do is that it will be a bit long video. Here I shall show you different steps, or you can see the sequential steps, where I will create one container and inside that container I will write a small Python code. Then I will create an image from that container again. Then I will try to transfer that image from file 1 to file B. So there are few steps that are being executed there, so we will go and check it. Okay, so first of all I will show you the network diagram, or you can say the home lab that I am having. That diagram goes something like this. So this is my network diagram, or you can say my home lab. So here we have a router which is connected to all my machines, virtual, or you can say the Dockers, images and containers. It also connected with a separate Ubuntu machine that hosts the Docker. I have a Raspberry Pi and I have a Mac OS. So Raspberry Pi is not used in this video, so you can skip it for now. So my laptop is connected to the router using Wi-Fi, and the router and the PC with Ubuntu OS, it is connected via Ethernet cable, and its IP address is 192.168.1.201. I have multiple containers inside this machine. Now this machine is completely separate hardware, so it is not a virtual machine, it's a complete separate machine, and I am accessing that machine using IP address. Okay, so this is the diagram. I will create and I will configure Ubuntu containers, show you how you can deploy a Python project inside that. So let's move to our terminal window. So first I shall I will exit it from here. So in the first step I am getting into my machine, the machine that has Ubuntu. It's a separate machine. So I will get into that. I will give a password and I have got into that machine. Now first let's check what are the images that we have. So Docker, or you can say first I will check what are the containers that I have. Space -a. So you can see I have created one container that is Ubuntu 2204. So first I will delete it. So for deleting I will use Docker rm, then I will use Ubuntu 2204 and it has deleted. You can check it by Docker ps-a. You can see there is no Ubuntu 2204. Then I will remove the Docker image. So first I will list it. So Docker image ls. So you can see I have a Ubuntu image over here. So I will delete it as well. So Docker, so to delete that I will use Docker rmi Ubuntu 2204 and it has got deleted. So now you can get all these commands in my website, that is thesiliconboard.com. There I have published this article, so you can go and refer all the commands that I will be using in this video. So in this video you have to only concentrate about the logic or the steps that I am executing. As you can see now I don't have any Ubuntu image, so first I will download that specific Ubuntu image. So we have got the Ubuntu image. You can list it using Docker image ls. So you can see we have the image over here. Now from here onwards I shall configure, or I can say I will create an Ubuntu container that will be derived from this Ubuntu 2204. So for that I will use a command called docker run -it. It is for interactive, D for daemon. Then I will give a name, a user defined name, so that it will be easy to identify. That will be Ubuntu 2204. Then I will give privilege, privilege. I will give ports. First I will give the ports, then I will explain what is happening here. 52000:22. So first 52000, the right hand part of this port mapping is that 52000 of my host machine will be mapped with port number 22 of the container. So first 52000 is the port of the host machine. So it is mapped with port number 22. Then I will give again 1p, means let's say if we want to map multiple ports. So for that I am giving you this example. So 3307 will be mapped to 3307. You can give any other number. Then the image name. Now once I trigger this command, we will get a container that will be in a running state and that will be named as Ubuntu 2204. Why it is not working? docker privileged. I think the spelling is wrong. -privileg. Okay, yeah. So unable to find Ubuntu. Yeah, now it's running. You can check it by command docker ps-a, and you can see our image, that is Docker 2204, that is running, and this 2204 has been derived from this image and it is running on bin bash, and it has been up for 5 seconds, and these are the port mappings. So we have mapped 52000 with port number 22. So these are the port mappings. Now these are very much essential when we will do SSH to our Docker container. So once this is done, we can get into the Docker container using docker exec command. You will use docker exec -it, then the container name, then from where we want to start bin bash. Okay, so you can see now we are inside Docker container. First we will give the root password, or you can say we can configure the root password. So psswd root, then you give a root password. I will give 123. I will keep it easy. Then type it again 123. Once this is done, then I will add one user. Adding one user command is add user. I will give the username as user1. Then the password is 456. Give some enters and information is correct, true. So our root password is 123 and the user password is 456. Okay, so our username and the root password is set. Now once this is done, inside this Docker container we will update and we will install some of the package. That will be in one line. So I will write apt get update, then I will write apt get upgrade -y, then colon, then apt get install open ssh server -y means yes. Then I will install apt get install vim -y. So I am installing Vim, I am installing OpenSSH server, and I am upgrading the Ubuntu container. Now SSH will be used for, or you can say the OpenSSH will be used for remote connection through terminal, and VIM, as you know, it's an editor. So let's install it. Okay, our installation is done. Now to check has been properly installed or not, we will trigger it. We will go to etc folder, then I will check initd, then ssh status. Okay, it is not running. So it means it is not running means that it has been installed but it is not awake. So we have to start it. To start, write start command. So /etc/init.d/ssh start. Now if you want to check, write initd ssh status. It is running. So once this is done, I will come out of the container. Okay, so you can check the status of the container ps-a. So our Docker container, the Ubuntu container is running, and this is the port. So port number 22 is used for doing the SSH. So SSH we can do using the port number 52000 of the host machine. Okay, now to do an SSH we need the IP address. We need the IP address of this Docker container. So to get this Docker container's IP address, you can use the command docker inspect, then the container name Ubuntu 2204, then use grep, then write IP address address. Now this will give you the IP address of the Ubuntu container. So now you have the user ID, you have your SSH running, and you have the IP address. So it is means we have all the components to do an SSH inside that container. So to do that, we will use SSH command ssh-x, then the username, that is user1, @ what is the IP address, IP address is 172.17.0.2. What is the port number? Port number is 52. We are using this IP address of specific container, so we will use port number 22. Okay, it has been filled. Okay, because I have previously configured this container, so that's why it is saying there is a lot of security issues and all. So we delete the folder. So you can do rm-rf. Where is the folder? SSH. Yeah. So my SSH folder is not there. Now if I execute this command, I will say yes and give the password is 123. User password was 456. Yeah, now we are inside the Docker container using SSH. So this is the user location, the present working directory. I will create one folder, that is remote codes. So mkdir remote codes. So this folder is created. Now let's say I will go inside this folder remote codes, and I will create one Python file. So let vim let's say test remote.py. Here you write, let's say print hello from remote container, I am Ubuntu 2204. Okay. So if you want to run a Python code inside it, so just write python 3, then test remote, and you can see our Python code is running. So now we have created a Python file and we have executed a Python file inside a Docker container. So once this is done, we will try out one more extra thing, that is, as this machine, as this SSPN51 is connected to the router, then we'll try to get into this machine, and also I will try to get into the Docker container from my Mac OS. So I will exit from this part. Okay, now before going that, I forgot one more thing. In the host machine, first you have to check what is the status of UFW. So UFW status, it is inactive. Even though it is inactive, you have to first enable, then disable the UFW, or else it will block the incoming data packets that is coming from outside the host machine. So I will use UFW enable, then UFW disable. Yes, correct. So I will come out of this, then I will come out of the host machine. Now I am in my Mac. I know the IP address of my host machine, that is 192.168.1.201, but also I know the username of the container, that is user1. So I will do SSH -x user1 at the rate 192.168.1.201 -p. Now recall, we had configured the IP address 5200 of the host machine, that is mapped to port number 22 of the Docker container. So in this command, if I give 5200, then it will directly get into my Docker container. Okay, and that Docker container is which one? That is Ubuntu 2204, because 52000 is mapped with port number 22. Press enter. The same issue because I had configured previously, so that's why it is showing me warning. So here also I will delete rm-rf ssh. This is done. Now go there, the yes, and you give the password, that is user1 password is 45456, and there you go. So from directly macOS I got into the Docker container. Here also you can see the code, you can get the Ubuntu, the remote codes folder. So far so good. So let's say I have deployed everything. I showed you this command because if you want to directly write some code inside that container, you can do using that manner. Once our container is ready, if we want to store that container, or if we want to create one image out of that container, so that we could move the image from A to folder B, there we have a separate set of commands. So first I need to get into my host machine. So that is allowed at the rate 192.168.1.201, and I will give yes, password is 123, and we are there. Docker ps-a. So let's say our Python code has been deployed in this Ubuntu 2204, and we want to move this container from point A to point B. So for that, first we need to commit. Docker commit, then let's say author name, you can give any author name. I will give my name, let's say Pallab author. Give some message, let's say I will give Python project deployed. What is the image name? That is Ubuntu 2204. Now the actual image name that we are trying to give. So I will give, let's say Python project from Ubuntu. Okay, so once this is done, it will convert this container into this image, Python project from Ubuntu. Okay, so to check that, Docker image ls, so you can see we have one new image from the container. Now once this is done, what you can do to make it transferable from point A to point B, you have to convert it into a tar file. So to convert an image to a tar file, you have to use a command docker save -o. You have to type the address, the home Pallab documents, means where you want to store the tar file. So I will give my images, then I will give Pallab, okay, give a name Pallab image ubuntu.tar, then the source image name, that is Python project from Ubuntu. Okay. So now the image is converted to a tar file and it is being stored in this folder. So let's go and check it over there. cd documents, my images, and we are having a tar file. So once you have the tar file, I will delete the image. So docker rmi python project, so you can docker image ls. So we don't have the image that we had created. So once we are having a tar file, you can move it from point A to point B, you can mail it, you can store it in a drive, you can copy it in a pen drive, you can move to some other pieces, you can do whatever you want. Now once you have moved, let's say you have received that tar file, now from that tar file again you want to create one image. To do that, I have the tar file over here, so fantastic. So docker, you can docker load -i, means then what is the image name? Image name is Pallab image ubuntu tar. So if I execute the command, then it is converting from tar to an image. So here you can go docker image ls, and you can see we are having the image from the tar file. So this is you can see it's a whole cycle from image to container, from container to again image, from image to tar file, then again from tar file to an image. You can do also the similar kind of thing from directly from the container. So if you are having a container, you can do directly docker export Ubuntu, then in which direction, means the Ubuntu container will be pushed to some tar file. So give any just sample.tar. so in this command it will do almost same thing, but the intermediary image will not be created. From directly from the container you will have the tar file. So I am not executing the command, experiment it in your own machine. This is how you can convert a Docker container to different stages and you can move to other places of your machine. So hope you have understood. Meet in the next video.